Hi folks, Darko here. Today I'm bringing you a review on FIFA Football on the PS Vita. FIFA Football is a FIFA 2011 conversion which on the console was renowned for being a hard game to play, but on the Vita regardless you are getting, if not currently, the best football game that gives you that full-on console experience, even if it is a kind of step back from FIFA 2012. This is what the box overall looks like. Sorry about the overall sort of like lighting. So this is what the box looks like. Nicely layered. It doesn't really indicate to you what kind of FIFA it is, like you would see FIFA 2011 or 12. You'll get your cartridge and sometimes you get a manual, but majority of the PS Vita games, manual is digitally built in. Now, looking straight at the Vita itself, now a lot of the PS Vita games that you do purchase does require a certain set of amount of space in order to install the overall application, and we'll have a look at how much space is required for FIFA Football. So there you go, it's at least a good 7 meg. It also gives you the version of the game as well, control levels and everything else. So that's that there. Let's start up the game. The main application menu is quite plain. So you get your start off of the game, you get access to your website, the manual, digital menu is right there. You get your refresh button there. Swiping up will show you your recent activities, whether it be trophies that you've won. Let's start the game up straight away. Now, FIFA Football loading time is exactly as the console copy version, so it's not fast, it's neither slow, it's exactly the same. The game, however, does give you this kind of illusion when you begin that it's a 2012 FIFA game, which you find out once you start playing it's not really a FIFA 2012 game, that's an 11. So just wait for the game to load. That way you could see exactly how quick it loads up and how identical it is to it. You got your loading right there before the start menu start up, exactly as the console, where you get the pop-up menu right there. And then you get this sort of like nice animation as you would normally. So everything is literally identical. And there you go, there you get your sort of like start off screen right there. So how close look right there. Player animation, as you could see, is pretty much exactly the same as you would find it on your normal sort of like FIFA games. Now zoom out a little bit and we'll look at some of the buttons. Buttons on the PS Vita is straightforward. There's nothing new to go into or to learn. You've got your normal sort of like control stick right there, where you are able to control your player. You got your right stick right there, that way you get all your tactics there. You got your left trigger button where by using it gives you access by using your right stick there to to do some of the sort of like skills that are available. You got your right trigger there. Right trigger pretty much allows your player to sprint. You got your X button, circle button, shoot, pass. You got your square and you got your triangle in order to either tackle, long pass or lob the ball. So all of these features are pretty much straightforward, simple, start and select. Of course you got your PlayStation button, which pretty much brings you out of the game. If you say you want to go into YouTube or check out a certain tweet, and then you could just come back and continue from where you took off. Exclusive features for the PS Vita for this ported version is the use of the touch screen interfaces. So where you got the front multi-touch screen, you could activate that and use it as right there as a pass function, button function right there. Now, one thing that makes this overall uncomfortable is you find yourself holding your Vita like this, one hand, while you use the other hand to tap somewhere on the screen, and that can either, it's not a great way to control a game or to hold this device. You find yourself worried that you're going to drop it on the floor, and while you're playing your game as well, you don't really want your hands to be in the way where you're having players tackling. So I really don't dislike that overall touch sort of like screen interface in this game, where it really does disrupt your overall gameplay. And a lot of times you find that you're passing to the wrong players. You know, there's loads of it. Just, to me, it doesn't work for FIFA. The other touch interface you have is the rear touchpad, whereby tapping the back of the pad, you're able to sort of like shoot the ball. So there you've got your player's got the ball there, and you know, by just tapping right there at the back, the player right there will shoot. Now the pad itself determines how hard you want to hit the ball. So you know, by holding it for a prolonged time, it will either hit it lightly or it will hit it very hard. So for example, right there, I'm touching it for a while, it indicates red and I've really hit the ball too hard. Now this as well does tend to get in your way. A lot of times you're holding the Vita and you're pressing the normal button, and you find your hands sort of like at the back, sort of like laying on the pad itself, and then right here on top, if you could see, you get this sort of like hand indicator telling you, you know, you're touching the back pad. So that tends to get in the way of overall your gameplay. Great news is these are not forced on you. You can switch them off in the settings and just use the normal controls, which once you do, this game is an absolute joy to play. You know, for the exception of the sort of like problems that you had from 2011 console conversion, you will have those there. So we'll have a quick look at the menus that are available. Now regarding menu wise, there is a lot of options on this game, you know, to keep you preoccupied and not get so bored with the game and keep coming back for more. Or you know, it will keep you going, waiting for even FIFA 2013. Hopefully EA will release a Vita conversion. But I'll zoom in close, then we'll look at the screen and see what options are available on this conversion. Kickoff, you get your normal exhibition match, you get your pro player, and of course the goalkeeper mode. In the game modes, you get your career mode, tournaments, and you could create one. You get your online game modes, the virtual pro, you get the customization where you could, you know, edit anything that you want, stadium and so forth. And then you got your EA Sports Track. Now this will be the first thing that you'll realize that's pretty much missing on this conversion. You do lack the music track list that you would have on the console version. It just keeps it to the basics of like FIFA theme sort of music tracks. But then again, you know, you're not buying FIFA purely for the music or the soundtrack. You're buying it for, you know, the gameplay, for the players, the teams. You know, that's more of a reason to, you know, be worried of this game, not really certain tracks track lists that are missing. And you got your My Game, and you got to sign into EA and back to Kickoff. Now straight away, what you will notice that is missing, which is, to me, some things that I enjoyed in FIFA 2012, is the Ultimate Team option. Online season, there's no online season. You're missing the EA Sports Shop, so you know, you've got none of that trading cards option and all of these sort of things. Even though those are missing, again, it doesn't take much away from this fantastic game on the PS Vita. Other things that you find are not really updated is, because this is a FIFA 2011 game, the overall football roster of 11 to 12 is not really updated. I haven't really updated this game, so I've just got it the way it is. But you're looking at sort of like not the latest squads. So you've got squads from 2010 to 2011. So that's the other thing pretty much missing. Now, as I said, that overall touch interfaces, you can switch it off. It is optional. If you go to your settings, and then you go to your controls, and if you go all the way underneath, you do have right there the rear touchpad or the touch screen. You can switch it off. For the whole purpose of this review, I won't switch it off. As you can see there, the animation is exactly the same. We'll go into Kickoff gameplay. Now at the same time, while I'm playing the Vita version, I will put a little sort of video app just demonstrating the FIFA 2012 playing on the console. So you know, so that way you could look at me playing it on here, just like you know, a little comparison. So everything's exactly the same. Really, it's an exact sort of port, you know, great job. It really goes to demonstrate exactly what the PS Vita is capable of. You get all your normal options right there, but I'm just going to start the game and just, you know, demo some of the overall gameplay. The loading time, the way it starts, again right there, I just moved the stick and by mistake my hands was at the back and it blimmin' shot the ball. So you'll see certain pieces while I'm playing the game where by mistake I'm touching the back of the pad and the ball will be shot and everything else like that. So let's start the game off. Now a great thing is, graphically, as I said, it looks absolutely fantastic. I'll zoom in as much as I can to show you. So overall, the player's motion, movement is flawlessly exactly the same. The stadiums, they look exactly the same, they look fabulous. The weather effects, the pitch, the ball, everything is a beautiful conversion of FIFA overall. Commentary as well, it's all there, you know, you're missing really nothing. Now once you start the gameplay, however, you will start to realize there are things missing when it comes to the control. For example, when it comes to tackling, the things that you had in FIFA 2012, like the tactical defense or, you know, the overall offensive sort of attack options, they are not available. What you have is your typical FIFA 2011 defense sort of like controls, where you use the X button as your normal trace and tackle function button. So you know, I'll mess up. I'll just pass it to the wrong player if I can. I'll just run like anything and just get tackled. So you got your players there, and what you're left with is just that normal holding the X button. It will chase the player and tackle button, which I really hate. I really, you know, if you've played FIFA 2012 and you've gotten used to the learning curve of that tactical defense, it will become frustrating if you are playing this game. So you know, you're looking at FIFA 2011 controls. Now the touch screen works when it needs to work at times, but again it's very uncomfortable because I can't really sort of like I'll zoom out and I'll demonstrate it to you. So you know, this is what I'm doing. I can't really touch the control stick. I'm having to, yes, tap here, tap there, and then you can't really be moving like that, one hand and then tapping here, tapping there. You can't play like that. And to me, this is where this whole touch interface really doesn't work. It works well with the control. And right now, there you go. You see this indicator there? It's telling me, oh look, you have your hands touching the rear pad at the back. So you know, it really messes your overall sort of gameplay. Yes, it works great, but okay, say you hold it with two hands, and then I'm going to use my thumb. If you're lucky, it will pass to the right player. Other times, it will just pass to the wrong player. So I'll just tap here. You know, at the moment, it's working beautifully, but other times, it just doesn't work. So I'll just go ahead and use the normal controls, and I'll try and shoot. Now this is where it's great to use the rear touchpad, where from this distance, just tap it there, and a lot of occasion you could score some fantastic goals. Other times you find yourself just running, I'll just get the ball there. Other times you find yourself just running with the ball, and by mistake, even if you like right here, I didn't want to shoot, but I tapped it by mistake and it will just shoot automatically for you. So this whole overall control, whether it's the front or the back, doesn't work for me. The game is better when all of these sort of touch screen sort of things are turned off. And once they're off and you're using just your normal controls, even though you got your typical FIFA 2011 sort of control set, it's smooth. Everything, the overall gameplay is not disrupted. It feels very nice to play. So a great looking game. Commentary is great. Frame rate is not 100% smooth. 90% of the time it does lag, but it's nothing that major to really disrupt your overall sort of gameplay. But once you use those normal controls, then this game plays fantastically well. So that's what FIFA football looks like on the PS Vita. So overall, the game plays like FIFA 2011. That's that's the only way I could really pretty much sum it up to. A FIFA 2011 in every single way. It looks identical from the stadium, of the graphics of the stadium, the player, the motion, pitch. Frame rate is at least 90% smooth most of the time. There's plenty of game options there to keep you going till FIFA 2013 comes out. Overall controls straightforward and it's a joy to use on the PS Vita. Downside is those touch screen sort of controls. To me, it doesn't really work on this game. The front touch screen really, I think that's, for this kind of game, it's a bad thing to have. It really disrupts your overall gameplay. Your hands gets in the way. Holding the Vita in that set position is very uncomfortable. The rear pad works greatly when you need it to shoot. Other times it can get in the way by, again, disrupting your gameplay, and that's the last thing you want when you're in a great position. Yes, I'm about to score, and damn, you just tapped the blimmin' pad and you didn't want to, and there you go, you take some crappy shot, or you've held it too hard and it overall spoils your gameplay. So overall, this is a great game. For £45 brand new, I don't think it's worth it. I think that's too much money. You could get FIFA 2012 on a console for cheaper than that. Pre-owned, I got it for about £20. I wanted to play a FIFA game on here, on the train to work or something like that, and it worked for that sort of occasion. But still, when I play my FIFA 2012 on the console, it's a lot more enjoyable. So this is just great to keep you preoccupied on the Vita. It's one of the top titles that you can get on the PS Vita till again FIFA 2013 comes out. Overall, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. It's a great looking game, gameplay and everything else, but it's not FIFA 2012. So that's my overall review on the FIFA game. Hope you enjoyed.